Okay guys, I'm going to show you the fourth tutorial in the series now, and we're going to be using our bud vase assembly that we had finished the last time. So just go to where it is, bud vase assembly, and open. So it's not new or anything, it's just file, open, and then locate your file. So here's our assembly together, and I just want to show you that once you've got something together, you can be working on individual components, and then this assembly will just update with what you want. So I'm going to right click on the part, and in these icons that appear at the top here, okay, I've got open part in position. If I do open part in position, it will open up just the back boards without the shelf in place. And what I can do is I can alter things about it, okay, without having to look at all the rest of the stuff down here. So if I go into this wee arrow at the side of boss extrude, there's a little sketch there, and I can adjust that sketch. I'll show you a quick way to do it as well. If you right click on it and you look at your icons, so there's a lot can be done in SolidWorks with just right clicks. If you right click on it and you go to edit sketch, it will take you into your original sketch. I'm just going to press Control 1 just to view straight onto the sketch. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the drawing tool just to adapt this initial sketch. Okay, and then we'll trim out what we don't want, and then we'll be left with it out of shape. So on my design, I have a straight line that goes from the top down to the bottom. Do the same on this side. And I'm going to dimension up distance from there. So I've clicked on that line, and I'm clicking on this point now. I'm clicking and dragging down. And I was close. That should be 10. Just okay. Zoom out. I'll do the same over this side. So just using smart dimension tools again. Clicking on this line and going down to this point and clicking and dragging. 10. And click OK. Now, I've got other shapes on this to do. I've got a curve that goes right away across the top here. And what I'll do is I'm just going to put a little construction line in the top here, just temporarily. Because then if I get that midpoint there, I can start to construct a curve. You've got lots of options with curves, okay? If I just click on the wee drop down box at the side of the curves, I've got center point arc, tangent arc, 3-point arc. I'm going to use the 3-point arc. I think that's the easiest one for people to understand, okay? So if I go 3-point arc, and just going to that's my first point. My second point is right across on the other side. And then my last point, and this is why I drew the little arc in the middle, just so I can get that center point at the top there. Okay. And you look at your little, there's a little yellow dot appears, okay, and that tells you you're at the tangent point, okay, which is where the curve glances, touches that straight line. I can just click there. Now, I can still dimension things here. So if I'm not happy with the extent of that curve, maybe it's a bit too pronounced, I can go into here using the smart dimension tools, go down to that point, and I can change that. So I go to the 15 that it should be. Click OK. Just change one side. Use my smart dimension tool. Click and drag. 15 on that side. Update it. You can see I've got a curve going across the top here, and it's equal. Everything else has still remained the same because I've still got all my original dimensions in. And I'm going to zoom in and do something similar down the bottom here. So, 3-point arc tool, first curve point, second curve point, and then my last curve point. And the way to think about this is it's like a rubber band. You can see that because I don't have my tangent line here, it's not finding that little yellow control point. Okay, so I'm just going to undo that, put that construction line in. Once you have construction lines in, you can delete them later on. Try that again. First point, second point, and the last point is going to be on this point here. There we go, there's a little control, and I can click. Now, smart dimension. This dimension from that point to that point. I'm using the same sizes. You've got to remember that what I do to one side, I've got to do to the other. So I'm dimensioning from that line to that point. So click and drag out. That's 15 millimeters. And just zoom out and have a wee look at what we've got here. Now, at this point, there's lines that I want, there's lines that I don't want. I can use the Trim Entities tool to trim them out, but before I do that, I've got two more things to add into my design. One is a circle on this side. So I use Circle Drawing tool, click and dragging on that side, drawing it out, and then I have another one on this side, the lower down, click and drag. And then I'll use my Smart Dimension tools again, and dimension from that line to the center of the circle. And this distance is 100. So you're going to be referring to your drawings or even your final model. And you can lift sizes off of that if you need to. Click on that line to the center. This one was 80. And the last thing, the diameters of these. So everything you draw should have a size on. Just keep referring to what you have with your drawings. And this one is 40 diameter. And we'll do the same on this one. Now at this point, that's all my drawing done. All I've got to do now is just trim out what I don't need. And just a quick way of doing things, it means that you don't have to create unnecessary extra sketches in different places. You just use your Trim Entities tool, and it just works like a knife. Anything that it cuts through, it will cut. Just zooming in, just so I can see the finer detail. So I want rid of that line, that wee line. I can get rid of that line. And what we're trying to remember is when we do sketches in SolidWorks, we want one continuous line going around the outside to show where the profile is. If you've got any extra little tails or things like that, Okay, that's going to give you problems. So there's one side cleaned up. And all my dimensions and all my sizes served a purpose now. I just need to tell the program what I want to keep, what I want to lose. That's everything, I think, tidied up. There's no extra tags or anything like that. That's things you have to be careful of. Trim entities, and then I can exit sketch. Now here's an interesting thing. So there is a line somewhere or a little detail somewhere that's stopping this from completing. So I'm just going to show you, because you'll run into this problem. So show the problem using sketch. Check sketch for feature. Sketch has more than one open contour. Try to fix the sketch right now. Click OK. Now here's what it's zooming in. So using the check sketch feature, it will highlight what's wrong. You can see I had a little extra tag there at the bottom. Okay. So I don't want to close that one. That's just identified what's wrong. And I might have two like that down the bottom. So let's go trim entities and zoom right in. So that's a feature you would never see with a naked eye. But using the check sketch feature, it will highlight it. And because it's a symmetrical part, I'll have that feature there. Now, I can bet that because that happened down the bottom, there'll be a similar wee tag up the top here. And there is indeed. You can see that's now a valid profile on the right hand side because it's coloured in blue. Do the same here, it's coloured in blue. So use the check sketch feature, just to identify where things are, and you can do that multiple times. Just if it gives you the same error message, just say OK to check it. And now if I exit, it will update it. Okay, and then you see it's up to date with my new profile, and all I have to do is save it. Now, I've got this file open already, remember, so if I close this, it will go on to the assembly, and it's going to ask me, the models contained within the assembly have changed, would you like to rebuild the assembly now? Just say yes. And there you go, there's your assembly that's already updated with your backboards. If you're going to do the shelf, you're just going to click on the shelf and do that, but we're just going to save that at that point. And then exit.